Hey guys, I'm Jay Randall. Welcome back to my channel where I discuss wisdom for the modern man. Today, guys, I got another video to react to. This one is brought to us by the YouTube channel SCG. I'll go ahead and link the video in the description so you guys can go check out his channel. The title of the video, Why Men Are Becoming Heartless. Without further ado, let's get right into it.
How men become heartless and are becoming more heartless as time goes on. It's a very, very sensitive subject because men who may have been very warm, very loving, very optimistic and positive as well are becoming very bitter, very angry, very disenfranchised with society, people, especially women, and they have become disengaged as well because they feel this is their life now, this is their personality. When we're born as children and babies, we're happy, we feel joy, we feel sadness only because we're reacting to things, loud noises, maybe being hurt, feeling unwell. But we're joyous animals and happy people. But it's when we hear these ideas and we grow and we evolve and we become adults and we step outside of our cocoons and our bubbles and the worlds that we live in, which is our families, our ecosystems, our siblings, our schools, and we step out into the real world. It's only then do we really discover the true nature of people's society, how ruthless and cold and mean and nasty the world can be to certain people. You're not a victim here if you are a man who is heartless and is cold-hearted as well. You're just like everybody else who's going through the same old thing. The heartless man cannot see the good in anything anymore. There was a time where he would look up at the sky and admire nature. He would be blown away by the simple things, by the smell of a flower, by a sunrise or sunset, by the gratitude of just being alive and being able to go to the gym, be able to hear, talk, feel, have a meal, all of these things. He felt good. He was full of endorphins. He had energy. He had something going for him. He had goals and ambitions. His work was going really well. His studies were consistent. He had the world at his feet. Then all of a sudden, one by one, life came knocking at the door. In fact, it came breaking down that door. And all of his hopes and dreams were shattered. And especially, there is nothing more heartless than the sad, single, lonely man who cannot catch a break. He's done everything he was told to do. He studied hard, or maybe he didn't study and he worked hard. He's got a good job. He's got savings. He looks good. He's killed himself in the gym or tried to get fit. He spent a fortune on his clothing, not necessarily designer clothes, clothes that fit him. He's read every single book, watched every single podcast on how to do conversations with people, how to be seductive with women, how to be attractive. He's maybe dabbled into online communities that help him become more alpha male, all of this stuff. And yet he's heartless because he still can't catch a break. He still feels that life is bogging him down, pushing him down, making things harder for him when all he wants to do is go back to that period of time where he would wake up with a smile on his face. Music would resonate with him. He had all of the confidence in the world and he would say to himself, why don't I feel like this all the time? Have you felt like that? Because I feel like that. I sometimes walk down the street and I think to myself, I haven't got a care in the world. Everything is great. The birds are singing. The sun is shining. And even if it's a cold, miserable day, I'm just still happy and in a good mood and full of endorphins. It's that positive thinking. How does a man go from feeling like that to becoming heartless and
Yep. I agree with everything he's saying so far. And this, unfortunately, has become the life of the average man. When the average man is being told, you're not good enough. In every metric, you're not good enough. You're not tall enough. You're not attractive enough. When the dating apps confirm, oh, you're not attractive enough to get girls. When girls in general tell you you don't make enough money, you're not as ambitious. You're not good looking enough. When the job market sucks and you're not making enough money to provide, and women say, oh, I want providers, and you're broke, right? But you're putting in effort and you're doing your best. When the inflation is literally kicking you in the butt and you're trying to find a job, but the jobs aren't hiring because you don't have enough experience, because they want 2, 3, 4, 5 years of experience. And how are you supposed to get that experience if no one's willing to hire you to give you that experience? And a lot of men are stuck in that rut. When society as a whole is telling men your masculinity is toxic. When society as a whole is telling you you're a predator, you're a creep. When women's standards are extremely high and they're telling you that you're not good enough. It's like when every aspect of life is just telling you you're not good enough, you don't qualify, you can't catch a break. It's like it's difficult for the average man to find an area in life where he's winning because every area of his life looks like crap. And I hear that. I hear that. I understand. I'm experiencing the same reality just like you, okay? I know how difficult it is to be a man out here, to be dating out here in 2024 where a man's life he just, he could get it's tough. Even if you do find a girl, the chances of it working out slim to none. Slim to none. It's tough out here. Guys who get married, they get chewed up and spit out by the divorce system, the divorce courts, and dragged through the system. Bro, it's difficult out here as a man, okay? Like, let's not pretend. I understand that. I get that, man. So I 100% agree with what he's saying. And after a while of just experiencing this, like, crappy reality, this really crappy reality, men just become disengaged, become just heartless. They become just, like, fed up with life. It's like, what's the point? There's just I can't, like he said, I can't catch a break. There's no part of my life that's going good. Relationship sucks. My finances suck. My prospects for like jobs suck. Inflation sucks. Everything sucks. My marriage sucks. It's like, where do you find a win? And this is why a lot of guys are just choosing to be single and do their best to focus on themselves in hopes of finding a better future for themselves. Because a lot of guys just are trying their best to disengage from society. Because society, I believe, has just let men down. In a lot of ways, have just let men down. And there's of course ways to handle this in a positive manner, but just acknowledging the fact that this is the reality for a majority of the average men out here. Just the average guy out here is experiencing this to some degree. It's real. It's real.
And fed up and frustrated. Or how does a man stay cold and heartless and never even experience a moment of euphoria and joy? Is it because society is pushing it down our throats as single, lonely men that we cannot catch a break, that we are ostracized, that we are losers because women don't want to date us, because women don't notice us, because women won't give us a chance because of one simple reason? Maybe we're not tall enough. Maybe we don't make enough money. Maybe we're not confident enough. Maybe we don't have a certain look. And maybe because of the brainwashing and the social media and the television and the movies and all of this crap and even societal expectations, we think that we have to find a certain woman attractive, that we have to go after that woman, and that we have to chase that woman to show to the world that we value, that we matter, that we're here, that we belong in society amongst everybody else. No, it doesn't work. And therefore the man might shoot his shot. And when he shoots his shot and asks that woman out bravely, or tries to ask for an Instagram, or tries to get some sort of connection with her, she shoots him down straight away. She gives him a terrible, dirty look. She makes him feel less than, just like his boss makes him feel less than, just like maybe his family, like friends or any friends that he used to have who don't contact him anymore. Just like the world does, the people on the train when he goes to work, his neighbors who are so overly loud and do not have any respect for him at all. He has nothing, he has no one. And he asks himself a very dangerous and very important question. What is the point? What is the point of making an effort?
There we go. That's the question that a lot of men are coming to. And this is why you see the stats with men aren't approaching women anymore. What is it? Over 60% of men aren't even engaging in the dating scene. They've completely just stopped dating. They stopped pursuing women. This is why you see men in general just not going to college This is why overwhelmingly college attendants are women. This is why in life you've seen women making these videos. Oh, men don't talk to us. Men don't approach us. Men aren't dating anymore. Men aren't. I saw a video this morning with women complaining about how nightclubs and bars are looking just predominantly women. Men aren't coming out like they used to bars and clubs anymore. Because men are asking themselves in all of these different areas of life, what's the point? What's the point of going out to bars and clubs only to waste money, waste my time trying to get these girls who aren't even worthy of my attention, or just going to waste my time, get a free drink and go home? What's the point of that, of just getting rejected all night? What's the point of going to school, wasting all this money, getting into college debt, only to get a job at the end of that isn't even going to be worth the debt that I've got into? And even if, and that you're lucky if you do find a job. A lot of times, even after you get the certification, the degree, you still can't find a job. I know so many people who have degrees and they're still working a regular 9 to 5 and haven't even gotten a job in the career field that they literally went to school for. So men are like, what's the point? Why am I going to put myself in all that debt for a chance of landing a job? Why am I going to freaking get into a relationship and invest my time and money and resources and energy and love and emotions into a woman that's so indoctrinated by feminism and society and Instagram and TikTok and all this toxic, ways of thinking, only for her to leave me, break my heart, cheat on me, divorce me, take half my stuff? Men are looking at every aspect of life and just being like, what's the point? And this is why so many men are just disengaging from society, and the stats and the studies are representing this. They're showing you that. Men are disengaging because what's the point? Now, I understand that all this is being said, right? This is the reality of men. I get that. I've experienced this myself. However, I gotta say, you can't give up on yourself. You cannot give up on yourself. I know that is the hardest thing to hear, the hardest thing to do when every aspect of life is literally trying to drag you down, make you miserable, make you depressed, and just make you want to give up. But you can't, man. You cannot give up on yourself. You can have a better life. And I know it's tough to see that when all the circumstances that you're seeing in front of you are just telling you that how crap you are, how much of a loser you are, what you don't have, how you're not good enough, how you're not tall enough, how you're not attractive enough, how you don't make enough money, how you aren't deserving of respect, how you aren't deserving of a decent woman. I get that. But I'm telling you, you can change your reality. You cannot give up on yourself. But let's keep going with the video.
Point of getting up? What is the point of asking that woman out when theoretically and historically, all I'm going to do is get rejected? All I'm going to do is be humiliated. I know how this goes. I psych myself up, he says, to go out into that world and make something of myself and try and have everything I've ever wanted, only to come home bitterly disappointed to the same cold bed, the same cold apartment, that same ready meal, that same circumstance. It's dark, it's gloomy, it's Groundhog Day, it's not changing. Why should I be excited? Why should I have emotion? Why should I feel good? Maybe I should be a stoic. Maybe I should be a monk. Maybe I should just never laugh or have any sort of love to give to anyone, because every time I do, every time I express myself, every time I push myself out of my comfort zone and my boundaries, I get shot down, I get rejected, I get neglected, I get embarrassed. Yeah, I know how that feels, because that was my life. And that's the life of many men nowadays.
That's the life of most men nowadays.
Men also who had everything and more, and they lost it all because of a cheating spouse, because of a horrible divorce, because of a bad market crash, because of investing too much too soon, by not being patient, by bad luck, by life. The thing is, we don't have our fathers or a male role model telling us that life is bloody hard. All we see is the end goal. We see a rich, successful man with a beautiful family, and we think to ourselves, I want that. How do I get that? Maybe it was given to him. Maybe he was pampered. Maybe he was born into it genetically. But no one realizes that any risk you take, whether it's to make money, whether it's to ask a woman out, whether it's to get on in your life, requires you to take on all of the crap that comes with it. The rejection.
This is true. A lot of guys, they want the same thing their grandfathers wanted. They want a decent job, a family, kids, a wife, family, and they just want to build a life. But that dream, what used to be the standard, what most men could achieve, even the average man could achieve, has now become this like monumental, almost unachievable goal just to get a simple girl. Just no, start with a job, just a decent job, then a girl, a wife, kids, a family, and just having that seems almost like unachievable now with the ridiculous, inflation. The job market is just sucks. You're not making enough money. Inflation is just taking all your money. The women nowadays aren't even worthy of marriage, and even if you like, it's just like, what is this dating pool out here in the West? Like, we have the worst women across the board in the West, in the United States. It is just the worst. And then just creating a family is expensive. Men are just looking at it. It's like, man, that goal just seems so out of reach. What used to be obtainable for the average man now seems like you have to be Superman in order to get it. And even if you do get married, it's like, who's to say that that doesn't blow up in your face, 7, 10 years down the line? But like he said, it to obtain anything, there is risk involved. So I don't want you to feel like hopeless. I know how it feels because like I said, I'm in the same boat. I get it. I'm living the same reality as a man as you. But you can't give up on yourself, man. You really can't. Look, there's 2 pieces of advice that I got in life that have really done me well and just served me very well. The first piece of advice is no one's coming to save you. That has literally positioned me with the mental state of, look, if my life is bad, and it's going to stay bad until I do something to change it. If it sucks now, if it's terrible, if your dating situation sucks, if your financial situation sucks, if your life situation sucks, it's going to stay that way until you do something to change it. The government isn't going to help you out with that. The president isn't going to help you out with that. Your job isn't going to help. You have to make it all happen. And that lit a fire under my butt to get out there and do something to change my reality. The second piece of advice that has helped me tremendously over these past few years was a piece of advice that I got from a mentor. And I'm very lucky to have met this guy and for him to have taught me this. And the piece of advice is simply this: when you're going through hell, keep going. And then he explained it to me. I asked him what he meant by that. He said, when people are going through the most difficult periods of their life, that is when you need to put on the gas. That is when you need to go the hardest to try to change the reality. And he explained to me that most people, when they're going through the difficult times in their life, what they tend to do is they curl up in a ball and they try to make their uncomfortable situation as comfortable as possible. They give up. They say, well, I guess this is my life now. I guess this is just what life has become for me. I don't get girls. I have a crappy job. I don't make enough money. I'm out of shape. Society sucks. Everything's not going my way. Well, I guess I'll just get fat, play video games, watch pornography, and just, isolate myself from the world and just kind of give up and make my crappy situation as tolerable as possible. I'll numb myself with weed and drugs, and I'll just try to sedate myself with video games, and I'll just make home in hell. When what they should be doing in those difficult times is going the hardest, grinding, trying to do anything to keep moving forward, to get yourself out of there. When you're going through hell, don't give up. Don't just stop, curl up in a ball. Keep walking. It's going to be tough to keep walking, to keep moving forward, to keep pursuing a better career, to keep, trying to improve your communication skills and your attractive levels, to get better with women. It's going to be tough when you're going through hell to keep walking. But guys, these difficult times, that's the valley, man. Life has peaks and valleys. The difficult times in life, that's when you're going through that valley, that dark period. The peak is just a little further ahead. You're going to get to the summit again where life is good. But you got to walk there, man. You got to keep moving forward and grinding until you get to that next point. Don't make home in hell. When you're going through hell, keep going. Keep moving forward when life is at its toughest, because that's the only way you're going to get through that period of life into the better period where things are good. I'll give you a personal example. When a few years ago, I hit rock bottom. I never knew life could get that bad. Like, relationship failed horribly. Job lost, well, this was like a little bit like during COVID, so the job market sucked, wasn't getting hours. I was about to lose my car, get my car repossessed. I literally had like $15 in my bank account. And I'm thinking to myself, like, man, like life sucks right now. Emotionally messed up, financially messed up. I didn't know what the future held. I'm just like, this is rock bottom for me. I've never been this low in my life. And I could have curled up in a ball and just been like, okay, I'm just going to play video games. I'm just going to smoke weed. I'm just going to just give up and just, try to make the best of this crappy situation. No. I literally went out there. I got 3 jobs. That year, I was like, no, this is going to be my life. I'm not just going to surrender to this being my existence as a man. That crappy relationship isn't going to be all that there is for me. No. That crappy experience I had dating is not going to be the best that I could do. This financial state is not going to be the best that I could do. I worked 3 jobs. I grinded, man. That year, I was so sleep deprived because I was like, no, this is not going to be my reality. I worked hard, made money, paid off all my debt. I paid off my car. I went from literally about to get my car repossessed to at the end of that year putting the final payment on my car. I'll never forget this. The day before New Year's, I walked into the bank. I was rushing. I wanted to get out of work before the bank closed. I raced to the bank. The day before New Year's, I put the final payment on my car. You know how great that felt? At the beginning of the year, I'm destitute. I am at rock bottom. At the end, I'm paying off my car and have 0 debt. My I had 0 money invested in stocks. At the end of the year, I had a decent amount of money invested in stocks, and I'm already getting dividends. So much of my life, I changed. My dating situation, it could not have improved. It is amazing now. It went from a crappy situation, a crappy experience, to absolute abundance. Guys, you can't give up on yourself. I know it's tough, man. I know what it's like to hit the rock bottom and have every aspect of life coming at you all at once. It's not like they just come a little here, a little here. It's like just getting a punch from this side, a punch from the left, a punch from the underneath. It's like you just can't catch a break in life. I get that. But persevere anyway. Bite down. If you gotta lock in for a year, man, and just grind it out until you exit the valley and you're on that next peak, do that, man. If you gotta disengage from women for a period of time to work on yourself, to get your body in shape, to get your finances right, to work on your communication skills, then do that. But the last thing you need to do is give up on yourself, man, because when I was at that low point in life, I could have never imagined that life could feel and be this good. Like right now, life is good, man. Life is good. Life is really good for me right now. Doesn't mean that it's perfect. Doesn't mean that my financial situation is 100%, fixed. No. But it's a lot better than what it was when I was at that low point. Way better than what it was. I actually see a way forward to financial freedom. I'm on the path, and it will be achieved within the next year and a half. But I couldn't see that when I was in the valley, when I was going through that low point. Guys, don't give up on yourself, man. I'm telling you, you don't know how good life can be. I know all you can think about is the negative aspects of it. But life can get so good, bro, if you don't give up on yourself. Invest in yourself. That is the best return on investment you will ever see, is the investing in yourself. But let's continue with the video.
The pain, the suffering. And the longer you endure it, you've got two choices: to make you remain heartless for the rest of your life, so then you will never feel joy, never feel those emotions ever again, or for you to soldier through and push through so you can feel joy again. Get divorced. They go through terrible divorces. They ruin their lives. But some people bounce back. Some men get married again. Some men find other relationships again. Are the happiest they've ever been. Some men have their heart ripped out of them, stomped to pieces and destroyed. And then they open their heart out again to the best love, the first real love they've ever experienced in their lives.
A piece of advice that I'll give the men, all right? If you've had a bad relationship, a bad breakup, if you need to take time off, I understand. If you need to, recover from heartbreak or divorce, 100% understand. If you never want to engage in it again, I completely understand. However, I don't want you to think that what you're looking for isn't out there. You might have to travel elsewhere to find it. You might have to go overseas. You might have to just vet women differently to find it. But you can find it. Because, man, even after my bad relationship, after I've reflected on everything that went wrong, everything I did wrong, everything she did wrong, moving forward, man, taking all that information and applying it in my next relationships, it has been tremendous. My experience dating after that has just been, quite frankly, amazing. Amazing. So he's absolutely right. You can experience the worst of it all when it comes to dating, and you can also experience the best of it all right after that. So don't give up, man. I know it's tough out here in this dating scene, but don't give up.
Some men go bankrupt, lose everything, sleep on sofas, not once, but even twice, get into huge amounts of debt. And then somehow, some way, they become the richest, wealthiest people you've ever seen.
You
I
turn it
know men like
around.
this personally. They were sleeping on people's sofas because they lost everything. And now they have more money than anyone I know combined.
Yep.
How did they do it? They were heartless. They were broken. They hated the system. They hated the legal system. They hated society. They hated women. They hated their boss. They hated people. How did they turn it around?
They didn't give up.
They kept going. They said to themselves, do you know what? I'm going to make peace with my pain. When I was going through a really hard time like this, where I was not getting anywhere in any chapter of my life, whether I was addicted to gambling, or whether I was going through a really hard time in my business, or desperately single for 14 odd years in the past, what did I do? I started to make peace with the circumstances and made myself realize that this is a season. Doesn't matter how long this season is of my life, that I'm going to push through.
You're just going through the valley, man.
Actually get through with pride, dignity, and
You'll
strength.
get back to the peak.
Because I know that these things do not last forever. If I've experienced joy once in my life, I can experience it again. It doesn't matter if it was as a kid I could do it again. But the only person that can control that and can make that better and fix this situation, it's not
Is
my
you.
parents, it's not my friends, it's
It's
not
you.
some random guy on the internet. It's me
Yep.
and it's you. You have to realize and recognize that average men, men who have lost everything, men who've got no emotion, no heart in them, no joy, can still find joy and happiness in the most unforeseen circumstances. It could be anything. It could be helping out a stranger. It could be charity work. It could be doing fulfilling work. It could be writing a book, anything. But whatever you're going to do is going to be hard. It's not going to fall on your plate. We've
Nope.
been lied to and brainwashed to believe that everything should come to us easily like that on a silver platter.
Yep. Yeah, it's not going to be easy, guys. I'll tell you right now, going from the place of being broke, emotionally heartbroken, or whatever you want to call that, and financially in a bad position, to paying off my car at the end of the year, that wasn't easy. Man, I was so sleep deprived, so tired. My body was always aching. Man, I was working unloading trucks at 3 in the morning. And then in the evening, was working at Publix, grinding through that. I was also working at a restaurant. Man, I had one day to recover. Like, my only day off was Sunday. That's it. Every other day I was just grinding, man. That was difficult. Difficult at work, and your body is out. It has no more energy to draw from because you're just exhausted. It can't even run on adrenaline anymore because you're just that spent where you're falling asleep on your feet. Like it's insane. And I went through that period of time mentally, emotionally, just was not right. I didn't want to date. I didn't want to deal with any women. I just want to be removed from all of that. And I went through that. And I came out the other side. I'm telling you, man, I had to get myself out of that hole. And I did. And now I'm about a year and a half away from being financially free, financially independent. A year and a half. That comes and goes like that, man. My YouTube channel is growing consistently. I'm in the best shape of my life. Dudes, you have to take control of your life and truly make it what you want to. And it's going to be difficult. Everything's going to come at you hard, and it's not going to come at you one at a time. It's going to come at you all at once at sometimes, bro. Where your girl breaks up with you, or you get cheated on, you lose your job, your health goes bad. Like, all these things will just happen all at once, and it's like, oh my gosh, like it's almost like life wants you to just freaking just like curl up in a ball and just like live on the side of the road. It's like, what? It just all happens at once. I get that, man. But I'm telling you, if you've experienced happiness once, like he said, you can experience it again. And you have no idea just how good life can be. When you're going through the worst aspects of life, you have no idea the potential that lies on the horizon if you just keep moving forward. If you just keep grinding. Understand that this is just a season. And the season, how long that is, depends on you. How long it is depends on you. And of course, there's other life circumstances that happen, but it primarily depends on you. How long you stay in that bad situation depends on how fast you take action to fixing the problem. It all lies on you, man. And I promise you, the investment you put into it is going to be worth it. And when you look back on everything you overcome, you're going to feel so proud of yourself, man. You're going to feel so proud that you didn't give up, that you didn't break, that you kept going. And that confidence of knowing that I can overcome all these obstacles, that's going to stay with you for the rest of your life. And that's how a man gains confidence, when he looks back on all the obstacles that he overcame, whether it be financial, whether it be his attractiveness and dealing with women, whether it be his anxiety and just communication skills. And he looks back on his life and it's like, man, I overcame all of that. And look where I'm at now. That's where confidence comes from. Your achievements, The reason why so many men are unconfident is because they've given up. Instead of looking back and seeing all the things they overcame, they look back and seeing all the failures. And they see that they failed themselves because they failed to keep going and persevere through the hard times. They look back on getting that one rejection or that couple of rejections, and they look back and remember, oh yeah, I gave up, I stopped dating. So that's a failure. Instead of looking back and seeing a success, seeing perseverance, they see I gave up. I quit on myself. When it goes to their financial situation and how crappy that is, instead of looking back and seeing, man, I persevered through some crappy financial struggles, man, from rock bottom. And I persevered until I got the job I was looking for. I persevered until I figured out a financial strategy. Maybe I opened a business. Maybe I started a YouTube channel. And looking back on their financial situation and being like, I made that happen. They look back on resigning themselves to just work their 9 to 5, make their couple $100 for the month, and living paycheck to paycheck. They look back and see a bunch of failures because they gave up on themselves. Keep moving forward so you can stack those wins, so you can look back and be proud of what you achieved. And even if where you're at right now isn't the best place, because like I said, I've achieved so much, but I'm still not where I want to be. But I'll be there in a year and a half, 2 years from now. Absolutely, I'll be there. Because I know where I'm going, and I'm going to keep moving down that path until I achieve it. I'm going to stack those wins. And when I look back on my life, I can already look back on my life. I look back on that year and a half where I worked 3 jobs, where I was investing in stocks, and I paid off my car, and I wiped out my debt, and I was like, man, I did that. I walked through life with such a level of I just feel like I can do anything. After that year and a half of what I did, I feel like it doesn't matter what comes my way. If I can do that, I can do anything. You got to stack those wins, man. You can't give up on yourself. I promise you the return on investment will be tenfold. Life is hard, but I promise you it can be amazing if you keep going.
You need to go get that platter. You need to cut up and prepare the food and serve yourself. Because no one's going to do it for you. And when eventually you realize that your heartlessness was because no one was there to comfort you, no one was there to pick you up, no one was there to cradle you and make you feel okay, it makes you realize that you're stronger than you thought you were. And that you
Exactly.
can actually bring yourself up and say, do you know what? I went through hell and it was bad
And I
and I can
did
feel
this by
sorry for
myself.
myself.
Yep.
And I will feel sorry for myself, but I will learn the lessons necessary to prevent that going the same way again. And I'm going to bounce back and I'm going to make the most of this precious, precious commodity that we have called life, this precious thing, because it's wasting away. Yes, it's been a long time. Yes, there's no light at the end of the tunnel, but all it takes is one perspective change, one difference, one different belief, one different approach, and then everything falls into place.
Yep.
And trust me, I've lived long enough and seen people live long enough who've lost it all, been through hell, and then are now living their best lives ever. And they finally have a heart and are no longer heartless as well.
That was an amazing video. I know there's a lot of guys who needed to hear that video because I would say most men nowadays can resonate with everything he just said. All right? Yes, life's hard. Life sucks. So much of life is coming against men. All over the world, life is coming against men. But I promise you, life is what you make of it. That still stands. Life is what you make of it. And you can still persevere. Focus on yourself. You'll have to work hard. It won't be easy. It's not going to drop in your lap. It's not going to be, the solutions aren't just going to present themselves. You're going to have to really research and just put in effort into figuring things out, man. I can't tell you how much time I put into strategizing and financial strategizing and future strategizing and just figuring out how to fix my problems. That's going to take time. It's not just going to be a little sit down for an hour and then, oh, okay, I know exactly what it is. No, there's going to be days, months where you just have to be constantly trying things. Okay, maybe I'll try this. Okay, that doesn't work. I'll try something else. Okay, let me take this path. You just keep going and keep throwing things at the wall, keep applying yourself, and eventually you're going to find the path that works for you. It's not going to be easy, but I promise you it will be fulfilling when you achieve the goal. But that's all for today, guys. If you got value from the video, please go ahead and leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And until next time, guys, take it easy.
Dear brothers and sisters, when troubles of any kind come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy. For you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. So let it grow, for when your endurance is fully developed, you will be perfect and complete, needing nothing. If you need wisdom, ask our generous God, and He will give it to you. He will not rebuke you for asking,